The following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? I have the Gerald Albright, 8-time Grammy nominated artist, contemporary jazz, 20 plus albums to his credit, 30 plus years in the music business. He is with Phi Alpha fraternity and an avid golfer. Gerald Albright, how you doing, my friend?
I'm fine, Cam. How are you doing?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I couldn't even sleep. I'm telling you, I'm excited.
I'm excited to be on the show. Thanks for the invite. We appreciate it.
I'm telling you, contemporary jazz, they call you the Sax Man, and we talked about that. How did that come about?
Well, it just evolved throughout the years that I've been playing. I guess I'm doing something right. And it's nice to get cool nicknames like that along the way. Back when I was first green and getting started in the music business, I had a high school teacher who called me Wonder Funk. And so I was Gerald Wonder Funk Albright back then. I even had it on my business cards back then. And so I've had a few nicknames along the way, but I'm totally honored that people give me those nicknames. It's very, very cool.
Well, several of your brothers, Phi Alpha fraternity, said, Cam, you have to do a shout out for us. We just had our Founders Day, December the 4th.
Yes. Hello to all the brothers out there. Black and Gold 06. I'm proud to be an Alpha. I'm very, very proud.
And then an avid golfer. I saw that.
Yes, I love the game of golf. Honestly, Cam, through this whole COVID pandemic, golf really saved me, as it's one of the few things that you can do outside in a safe fashion or relatively safe fashion, and still get your exercise on, strengthen your mind, network with different people, and keep that heart pumping, So I've been playing a lot of rounds of golf during the course of the pandemic, and it's really balanced my life because, man, we've been through some serious anxiety here for 8 or 9 months.
We really have. And let's go back all the way of how you started. How did you get into the music business?
Well, going back to 9 years old, I started playing saxophone. Prior to that, I played piano, which I didn't like at the age of 8 years old, practicing scales and stuff. So my teacher put me on saxophone, which at the age of 9 years old, it looked like a little toy to me. I could blow through it. I could press the little keys, make a sound. And it was a cool looking instrument. So I had more of an interest in it, and I learned pretty fast. And fast forwarding through junior high school, where I played in jazz band, marching band, concert band, and did solo performances, for the neighborhood and everything as I was growing up. It was priming me for what I'm doing now. And after I graduated college, I did a lot of recording sessions for different name artists and went on the road with a lot of name artists. And right after I toured with Anita Baker for about 2 or 3 years as a bassist and a saxophonist, actually. I played both instruments. I got a record deal in 1987 and became a solo artist. And like you said, I'm 20 plus records in, and it's been a real blessing and a great ride.
I love that. I found so uniquely that you play the saxophone, the bass guitar, the flute, and keyboards. Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, I love them all. I'm not really a keyboardist per se, but for songwriting purposes, that's where I can develop songs and productions that I've been doing. It's kind of like my reference for chordal structure and just making a song evolve. But flute, saxophone, and bass guitar is really where I put my nuts and bolts of the concentration. And I just love them all for different reasons. It's nice to have a variety of instruments that you can play in different settings. I just love it.
Absolutely. I love, after reading about the bass guitar, Louis Johnson from Brothers Johnson. How did that come about?
I was in college, Cam, and they had a big jazz festival, an annual jazz festival called the Orange Show in San Bernardino, California, which was about half hour from my college. And we decided to go. This is when the Brothers Johnson were in their heyday with,
Yeah.
all the Quincy Jones hits, Strawberry Letter 23, and Thunder Thumbs and Lightning Licks were the brothers' nicknames. And there was a point in the show where Louis Johnson comes out front and center. And he had these streamers on his arm that every time he played the bass, the streamers just fan. And I thought that was cool in itself, right? And then he played this just monstrous solo on the bass, and my mouth dropped. I'm sitting in the front row, and so I'm looking up. And I'm like, I want to do that. And so shortly after that, I got back to school, and I had a dear friend. He's still a longtime friend of mine, very talented musician named John Jorgensen, who happened to be the son of the head of the music department at the time, Jim Jorgensen. And he was an instrument collector, and he had all these instruments at home. And I just asked him, I said, John, do you have a bass that I can use just to kind of practice in my dorm room? And he said, yeah, I got an old bass. And he gave me this old Hofner hollow body bass that, similar to what Paul McCartney played in the Beatles.
Yeah.
And I sat in my dorm room in college and just learned. I'm self-taught. I just learned my scales. And shortly thereafter, I played in a few groups around the college area just, to make money to buy books and things and have a little spending change. And lo and behold, it's a big part of my arsenal now. I'm doing a lot of bass recording sessions for various artists and sometimes playing live as well.
Absolutely. Let's see you in action. Let's look at a video of you playing the sax and how you started in kind of 87. Let's just see something.
Okay. Sounds good.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to go all the way back to the beginning of my career. 1987, and all right, man. All right, Alex. This is my very first single, and I borrowed it from a gentleman who unfortunately is no longer with us, but he's left a whole legacy of music for us to appreciate. And he traveled the earth by one name, and everybody knew it. His name was Luther. Yeah. How about a hand for Luther Vandross, y'all? Yes. Never a voice like Luther's, man. And I heard this song and I said, I need to record this song. It just hit me right straight to the heart. And this was the first single in my career, my recording career, that hit the radio, and it goes something like this.
God, going back to those days.
Yeah, wow. You know, I was looking at the video. I'm like, okay, now where was this particular gig? And I saw the bass player, and I was like, oh, this was Uganda. We were actually over in Africa at the time, so
Yes.
uh, and that was rewarding within itself.
Wow. Wow. 87. Let's go back to 87. Just you getting started and how meeting just starting off with that song. How did you start with that song? Why? And let's talk about Luther.
Well, it really stems from me being a big fan of Luther's. I mean,
Yeah.
Luther was our modern day Nat King Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love his voice. I got a chance to meet him on a few occasions. We did work on one project together with Quincy Jones, and I just love that song. It means so much to so many different people, and it really lended itself to being an instrumental. Sometimes melodies just work perfectly for the saxophone,
Mm-hmm.
and that happened to be one of those songs that just really fit like a glove. And so it was a real comfortable move for me to include that on the very first record. And people are still playing it on the radio, thank goodness. So I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. Just recently, we were just talking about you're number 5 on the Billboard chart for Better Days Ahead. You just found that out yesterday.
Yes, just found it out yesterday. We're in the top 5. I'm very happy about that, Cam. The song is off of my current project. It was just released literally about a month and a half ago.
Wow.
Called GStream,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a 3-song EP that's specifically designed to get people through the anxieties of the pandemic. It's feel-good music. So to refer to it, my mission is to make you feel better. And so my message for 2021 is that it's better days ahead. And I think the title in itself, says a lot about where we want to start from here in terms of getting to that point where there are literally better days ahead. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm so glad you brought that up because we look at it, and we were talking a little earlier about it's 40 million people that are unemployed. Many people have dreams, and unfortunately, COVID stopped some things and financially and other things, and we talked about that. And we were talking about the fact that with those dreams, many were dreams were music. And they were never being able to fulfill those because, of course, you're working. You have to feed your family, but you couldn't do that. What would you tell those dreamers right now if they have still that dream?
Cam, honestly, I would tell them to continue the dream. Never stop dreaming. Of course, we're going to have stepping stones and adversities along the way, but it's that dream that really takes you from point A to point B. If you stop dreaming, then you've already lost the vision. And so I know times are hard, and we're losing family, we're losing friends. It's like I'm afraid to pick up the telephone sometimes because I'm fearful I'll get a voicemail that I don't want to hear, that kind of thing. But we just have to persevere through these times. Everybody has a particular mission on this planet, and we all need to fulfill that mission, no matter what that is. And if music is one of those missions, you got to keep going towards it. Because if you're one of those people that are the chosen one to make other people feel good with your music, then you need to be about continuing to practice your vocals, your instrument, whatever you do, and find the time. See if you can juggle the time to where you can at least get an hour or two a day to practice your instrument and keep the dream alive.
That sounds good. We have a caller on the line. They just I didn't post it, but they want to call in and they want to say hello. Caller, you've got to turn down your music a little bit. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, this is Diana Patterson.
Hey, Miss Diana Patterson.
Hi, Diana. How are you?
Gerald, I just want you to know you have blessed my life, and I am so absolutely in love with you and your music. And you are all over my Prime Music playlist, and I just love you to death. Sedona, Champagne Life, the list goes on and on. I just love you so much, and I just want to honor you today and tell you You are truly, truly one of the best ever. So I just wanted to pour into you today and tell you how much I absolutely love you.
Diana, thank you so much for those words. You made my day, and I appreciate you following my career so long, and just thank you for that. That's the greatest compliment I could have today.
Absolutely. She's the executive producer of my show, so she definitely wanted to call in. She's a fan of yours, and she puts the show together.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Awesome. Sounds good. Great. Thank you, Miss Diana, for everything that you do. She wanted to just give a call in. I tell you, she appreciates you so much. She is truly, truly one of your biggest fans. She's right.
Oh, that's great. Well, I hope to meet her in person someday. Bring her to a show.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's do that. What somebody's asking this. What have you learned along the way through your 30 plus years as a musician? There are musicians asking that.
Oh my goodness. I've learned a lot. What I've learned, the first thing that comes to mind is music is fun to play, but you must learn the business of music to sustain yourself. Mm-hmm. I was fortunate enough in college to get a business management degree where I was able to read contracts and know what the language was in the contracts and know what that verbiage meant in terms of your career. The other thing I learned is to keep great people around you at all times, great spirits that you feel good about in the way of, if you need a manager or if you need a lawyer or if you need somebody to administer your publishing or whatever the function is, keep great people around you. There's a lot of, I'll just say, adversity out there in this business, and you really want to wean those people out and get to the people that can really enhance your career, because they are truly and directly representing your career. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, and I think most importantly, is just be genuine with your music. It's not really about copying somebody else. That's already been done. So now you have to bring your own unique approach to the music, and whatever your brand is, people need to be able to recognize that. And that's one of the ways you become successful in the music business.
Absolutely. I love that. And we were talking about the fact that music is about 10% of that business. And there is a huge 90% part of the business, your contracts and other things that many artists, unfortunately, are not able to monetize. So in speaking of that, I love what you said and what you've learned along the way.
Yeah. Everybody's story is different. Mm-hmm. I can give you my story of how it worked for me. Mm-hmm. I made some mistakes along the way, which definitely solidified that I am human. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you get knocked down with a mistake, you get back up, you dust yourself off, and keep going. And I think that's so very, very important. Networking, relationships in this business is imperative. And I've met some wonderful people in my life, and I can pinch myself because, not a lot of people are able to really fulfill their dream. I mean, being a young guy saying, I want to be on stage, I want to have my own band, I want to write my own music, mm-hmm. and actually be able to do that, Cam, that is a blessing that I hold very humbly. And I'm so grateful for the ride that I've been on all these years. So
I love that so much about you. As I've seen you over the years, and I've gone to several of your concerts, what I've loved about you is that you are truly authentic in a sense of each person you make them feel as they're the only one in the room. You give your best, it seems, to each and every one, no matter if it's been 5 people in there or, thousands. You give the same, performance. Why so?
Well, again, it goes back to how humble I am to be in the position that I'm in today. And it's the people that allowed me to be in that position. Whether there's 5 people in the audience or 5,000 or 50,000, mm-hmm. For them to take time out of their lives to dress up, go pick up their mate, get in the car, have dinner, and come to my concert. That's the greatest compliment that I can have. Mm-hmm. for people to take time out to hear Gerald Albright. And if they took the time, then I have to take the time. I have to reciprocate. And I'm not sure, honestly, Cam, post-COVID, when we do the CD signings and things, I don't know how that's going to go with all the social distancing and everything, but I'm going to get as close to the people as I can, at least 6 feet.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love that fact about what you what you always speak about, how you talk to people, even before your show, even before, if you see people in the audience, and like I said, you make them feel the way as if they're the only ones in the room. And as musicians, I know this may be hard because social distancing, being so far away or not being there at all, virtual,
Yeah, it is hard. It's very, very uncomfortable is the word that comes to mind, but there's a better word. Mm-hmm. I mean, doing live stream shows, I've done a few here at my home studio, just to perform and stare at a computer is so short of what it really needs to be, Cam. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really crave that audience, because the audience, I mean, just like at a sporting event, you go to a basketball game, you have 20,000 people looking down at you. It's the energy from those people that make you play better.
Yes.
And when you have that back and forth with the audience, you'll do things that you didn't plan to do on the stage, So I always long for that spontaneity and just that oneness with the audience, because when I see the smiling faces out there, that solidifies that we're here for a purpose. And Absolutely. My job is to make you feel better leaving the venue than when you walked in.
Absolutely.
And so that's my whole mission.
I love it. Let's do this. Let's take a break and we'll be right back with Gerald Albright.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
During the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm attorney Willie Powles. Allow me to express myself with you. If you've been hurt or injured in a car or truck accident, give me a call and we'll get it fixed today.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service, striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
We are back with Gerald Albright. Gerald, we were just talking about COVID. We were talking about just doing virtual concerts. And let's look at one real quick that you've done. You did a Mother's Day brunch. Let's look at that real quick. Let's look at that, guys.
And we're going to start that from the beginning.
That was grooving a little bit. I was
I
over here
was
kind of
too.
getting my groove on.
I was over here grooving myself. I was doing it too. My God, that's neat the way you just put that together. And you'll be doing a lot of those, especially these are things for Christmas, some personal shout outs from Gerald Albright. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. A few months back, I joined Cameo.com, which is kind of like a shout out format where people have birthdays coming up. You can send birthday wishes or wishes for wedding nuptials or whatever the occasion may be. And I can say a few, choice, wonderful words for whoever you want to send them to, and then play a little song for them as well. And I've been doing a lot of them, different types of cameos, and it's been a lot of fun. And especially since I'm here at home and kind of reinventing the wheel, trying to figure things out. So you can go to Cameo.com and just plug in my name, Gerald Albright, and I'll be glad to service a booking for you. Absolutely. Thanks in advance.
There you go. There you go. There you go. But what I love about that is because we're in COVID, we have birthdays. We're having, people are getting married, or they're getting, engaged, or whatever the ceremony or whatever the occasion is. You still can be there virtually. You're there.
Yeah, and that's exciting. Thank God for the virtual technology, because I can't imagine having these times without it.
Yeah.
I'm a grandpa as of March of this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Gavin Eli. Gavin Eli. He's my first and only grandson, and born in the heart of COVID. And all we have now, because the family is in Texas. My daughter and her husband live in Texas. All we have is FaceTime. And if we didn't have FaceTime, I don't know, we'd probably go crazy not being able to see our grandson. So thank God for technology.
Absolutely, absolutely. And looking at that, and I'm glad you spoke about your daughter. We were speaking of her a little earlier, Selena, and just speaking of the fact she's a vocalist also.
And a dynamic vocalist. And that's not just dad talking, Cam. She really is a great, great vocalist. Vocal arranger, songwriter, producer. She has her own record company. She tours a lot in her own right, and she also tours with her dad periodically.
Yes.
And it's nice to share the stage with her as well. It was nice to be and continue to be her dad, who I saw her from a little age just singing little melodies around the house. And I'm like, well, she's only like 7 or 8 years old, but she's singing in tune.
Right.
We might have something here. And as she got older, now she's mastering the vocal inflections of a Whitney Houston or Ella Fitzgerald or Mariah Carey. And I'm like, okay, she knows all the lyrics, and she's word for word singing the melodies, going in and out of the phrases. I'm like, okay, we're going to have to put her to work. So in 1998, she did her very first official recording session on my Live to Love project, which was my last project for Atlantic Records back in the day. And it was a young Selena singing all the backgrounds on about 5 or 6 songs. And I was so proud of her. So she's doing her thing.
I love that. We were going through your family. I love that. Miss Glennis, shout out to your wife and all that she's doing. I call her the waffle. She does great waffle mix. And all kind of
things.
She
is. We talked earlier about nicknames. She's been nicknamed the Waffle Queen, and she truly deserves it. We live in the Colorado area here, just south of Denver, and whenever people come, and I'm speaking of name people like John Legend and Dave Cause and just a plethora of other artists, a lot of comedians, Alonzo Bowden, Tommy Davidson. Whenever they're in town, the ritual is they all come over for chicken and waffles. We are the hub for chicken and waffles.
I'm telling you.
So I'm excited for her because she has a product called Glennis's Waffle Mix, and Glennis's all-purpose mix for any kind of meat, chicken, fish, whatever. And it's the top line product for foodies who want their flavor to be at a high level. And so people can go to glenniskitchen.com and order from there, and it make a great Christmas gift for your friends and family as well.
And I mentioned
I
her
just
after.
did a commercial.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Look, I mentioned her because of 48 years. I said we can't stay with each other 48 minutes.
Yeah, we've been together 48 years, man. We met in junior high school and went all through school together. We went to different colleges, but we were within close proximity where we could still be together. And then we are 48 years later, stronger than ever, and it's been a beautiful thing. She's like my right arm, man.
I know.
She's the first lady.
There you go. She is. I don't want to leave your son out. I don't want to leave him out. Graphics.
Now I can't leave Brandon out. Brandon is a fine cinematographer, videographer. He does digital editing. He has done several of both my wife's and my videos surrounding our careers. He also shot one of my album covers, the G Project, back in 2016. And he has his degree in cinematography with his own company called Snow Desert Productions. And he does very, very well. So I'm a proud dad. I love my kids. I'm proud of both of my kids. They're doing well in their own respective way. And I couldn't ask for more.
Absolutely. We have the number on there. Many people want to call and talk, so we have the numbers live. Please call in and say hello to Mr. Gerald Albright and what all he's doing. But I wanted to talk about your independent label. You have your own label.
Yes, I have my own independent record label called Bright Music Records. I started in 2015, and I have five independent projects now that I've done on the record label. Back in 2015, I went through a major reassessment of my career. And we have to stop sometimes and just back away from the industry and just kind of look at it from a different perspective. And that's what I did. And I found that a lot of what I could do now, being that I built my career up over a 3-decade period, and I have, thank God, a very strong fan base. I really didn't need to sign with another record company. I could have my own record company. I have the recording studio here at the house where I can do my projects, and so it's been a fun ride. I basically just took hold of my career and my legacy, which we want, of course, to move on to generations after generation. And Bright Music Records is alive and well, and I'm very, very proud of it.
I love it. I love what you're doing. What I love about you, too, is that you do give information to the next generation and the next people coming behind you. That, over the years, I'm just nuggets to each one. I've heard you talk to them right before shows and things like that, and they've taken it in, and they do wonderful.
Well, I'm happy that they even want to ask the questions. I mean, that's part of getting the answer. You got to ask the question.
Yeah.
And I was that young guy several years ago that was just a sponge trying to get the knowledge from my mentors, and they took out the time for me. Yeah. Namely guys like Eddie Harris, and Herbie Hancock, Patrice Rushen, a lot of people who I did recording sessions with, Bill Green, just a whole laundry list of people that really in the right direction. And so you got to pay that forward. I've been at it a long time, and it's reassuring for me to see the excitement in young musicians' faces, because they want to get better and they want to be able to advance to higher levels. And that assures me that music is going to be perpetual. It's just going to keep going. And we hope that it has that same momentum as we appreciate it, both past and present.
Absolutely. You've been giving, due to COVID, many of the musicians have come on hard times, several have, because, the restaurants, and you have clubs and just concerts and everything's shut down completely. And you came up with Musicians Financial Assistance Fund that you have been doing with your virtual concerts, giving back. Let's talk about how it came about and why so.
Well, there was a need, and an immediate need. While Congress was battling out when they're going to release the stimulus checks. And while people are waiting in long lines, trying to get unemployment checks, I was trying to devise a way where we can get some money to the musicians who had immediately lost all of their gigs, and they have sometimes families and other commitments. So what I did was a series of live streams, and I asked people to donate to the Musicians Assistance Fund. And through formats like Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, we were able to immediately get funding to these musicians who need to pay rent, utilities, whatever the challenge is. And we can get it expeditiously to them, as opposed to there being this lag of time. And so I've been able to do that. And I tell you, Cam, I feel so good in doing that, because just the feeling of being able to help. I mean, you can't help all the musicians in the United States, but I'm just trying to do my part to fuel the musicians and let them know, hey, man, or hey, lady, it's going to be all right. Yeah. Let's just truck on through this and get to the other side. And any way I can help in that transition, I'm there. So it's a good feeling, and I'm very proud to have started that fund.
And it's still going on. I want people to know that you can still donate, right?
Absolutely. Very simple to donate. You just go to my website, which is GeraldAlbright.com. And as soon as you see the opening page, there will be a pop-up window talking about the Musicians Assistance Fund, and you can donate money, and we'll get that right to the musicians as quickly as we can.
And I want to make it clear about musicians. A lot of musicians that were, I know local here, or that musicians that have not gone mainstream, and many of them local. Many of them did not have health insurance. They relied on weekly, gigs at the restaurants, or they relied on, weekly gigs at maybe some of the clubs that we have and things like that. And they were relying on the tip jars here, which is another thing. And people don't realize that those are families that are playing in those bands. Not just, the vocalist, it's also the band members. Each of them has a family.
That's very true. And we really have to pay attention to that, because every day I listen to, or whenever I go online, I'm very interactive on live, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media. And, people are saying, man, we can't wait to get back to live music and the whole thing. And well, in order to get back to the live music, we have to take care of the live musicians.
Right.
And we have to take care of their lives and their family lives. So, if you have an extra $25 or $100, whatever you can spare to help fuel these musicians, they're so appreciative. I mean, the feedback that I've gotten just from the little bit that I've been able to do for certain musicians, they're like, Gerald, thank you so much, man. We weren't even expecting this. And now I'm able to do A, B, and C.
Right.
And that just warms my heart, man. It just makes me feel good. And, it's just paying it forward.
It is.
That's what we should be doing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I agree with that, because nobody knows utility bills. Of course, they're still coming every 30 days. You have rent that comes every 30 days, or mortgages. These were things that people were paying. And then once the world shut down, of course, no concerts, no cruises, no nothing,
Right. Exactly. But there are better days ahead.
They are.
No pun intended.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so we'll be out of this rut hopefully soon. And I have a really, really good feeling about 2021, Cam. It'll be a good year. It'll be a transitional year. We're not going to solve all the problems, but it's got to feel better than 2020. It just got to. So I look forward to 2021.
Absolutely. We were talking about, several people have also asked the question, what's next for you? What have you been looking for next?
Well, my personality, I always think big, and I always think positive. So, I'm forecasting to 2021, and I'm looking at like the spring and summer concerts. I'm hoping that the vaccine works in such a way where, we can normalize to some extent to have real audiences. And so those outdoor concerts and festivals that we used to do, I'd like to get back to that. The little old historical jazz clubs. I can bring my band in and do something really, really intimate. I need that. And I know the audience needs that. So so that's what's next for me. I'm going to be striving for the live concerts 2021. I'm continuing to write music. I'm doing a series of EPs that are designed to make people feel better through the music. And you know, just taking care of my family, man, just trying to stay safe, stay away from the COVID, stay healthy, play a golf game every now and then, and just stay balanced.
Sounds good. Let's do this. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with Gerald Albright.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
During the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm attorney Willie Powles. Allow me to express myself with you. If you've been hurt or injured in a car or truck accident, give me a call and we'll get it fixed today.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, thanks so much for coming back, family. We were talking to Gerald Albright, and we were talking about the COVID. We were talking about just different things that's coming up with him. Gerald, we have some more things. January shows. You have some things in January?
Yeah, well, we have booked some shows in January, and everything is honestly a case-by-case basis. Right now, it looks like we're going to be able to do it, but it's all honestly a function of where the COVID curve is at that time and what mandates that they enforce or take away. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get to those cities that are on the website there, but you know, we're mindful that we are in a pandemic, and it may be live or it may be more live streams. Whatever it is, I want to bring the music to the people, whichever way we can do it.
Absolutely. I love the way you, just for the people, you always make sure that they're more comfortable, that they get what they've paid for. And I love that.
Well, thank you. Again, we have to give 200% every time we perform because we don't know who's entering the venue. Sometimes people are coming to hear that one song that makes them feel better. They may have weight on their shoulders. You know, they may have lost a loved one, or there may be a relationship that ended for many, many years or whatever. And my mission is to make people feel better. So I perform for the people where everything is wonderful and okay and life is good. And I also perform for the people who need something spiritually to get them balanced and get them back on track. So we're a full service band, if I can say that.
Someone has asked, when you're writing your songs, where do you get the inspiration? Where you get your inspiration for your writing?
Well, the beautiful thing about writing music is that you can get inspiration literally from anywhere. Sometimes it can be a bass line, it can be a drum beat, it can be a lyric. It can be maybe you're riding along the freeway and you see a billboard with a catchy phrase and you go, okay, maybe I can make my own little derivative of that. But mostly for me, it starts with the melody. I think melody is kind of like the bridge of everything within a song. Melody is the part that people sing or people recite the lyrics to. So that's kind of like the anchor, and we kind of build around the melody. So that's pretty much my formula.
Well, many have you on their playlist. I tell you that even now, as you've heard before.
That's a good thing. I'm happy about that.
Absolutely, and it stays that way. We've been talking, our topic today was the importance of jazz. And looking at that topic, jazz, the genre itself, what would you say the importance of it would be for people, especially now?
Well, Cam, jazz is the American art form. This is the art form that represents America. And when you go back and listen to, the Louis Armstrongs and the Nat King Coles and the Ella Fitzgeralds and the Joe Williams, jazz is serious business. This is not something that you just, learn a program on a computer and you go, okay, no, I know how to write songs now. I mean, these people put their whole lives and efforts into perfecting their craft. Yes. And that's why when you see them perform, it looks effortless to them. It's just like, okay, this is what I do every day. This is part of life. When I see Nat King Cole sitting down at the piano and just tinkling the ivories, I'm like, this guy is serious, man. But to him, it's just everyday work, So there's no shortcuts to jazz. You have to really do the work. You have to stay in that practice room, perfect your craft. Like we talked about earlier, develop your own brand, your own sound. And so it's a lifelong commitment. And because of that, I think it's worthy of being right in the face of the American people and people globally. To me, it's the most important genre of music that we have, because a lot of other genres that we hear today on Spotify or Pandora, whatever, like R&B, pop, even country western, stem from jazz. So jazz is kind of like the cornerstone of everything that you hear today. So I'm glad to be one of those guys who's a missionary of that wonderful art form.
It is, and you really do a great job at it. Local artist, one of them has asked the question that now that they are local and they would like to go mainstream, they know it's a COVID out there and they know that, the pandemic is here, but what would you suggest? What would you, as far as them, what would you tell them going forward?
Well, I would say this. I think the one thing that they have now that we didn't have when we were growing up is the internet. Yes. And social media. And so now you have a pretty much free platform to basically sell yourself in the way that you want to sell yourself conceptually as a musician or vocalist, whatever you are. And so putting those videos on YouTube, which a lot of young artists have gone viral and made millions off of just making a couple of simple videos on YouTube, that's a great format. Also, honestly, it's an element of luck. You got to be lucky. You got to be in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. Relationships are everything in this business. And so it's really about starting the campaign on yourself and doing the right things in terms of getting people to pay attention to you. You got to have that little different thing in your concept that make people go, okay, I better listen to this artist. This is something different I haven't heard before. Put some other seasonings into your music to make it unique and genuine for the listener.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, as well as because you're helping each one of them, especially now with COVID. Many of them are sitting there, and depression has set in on a lot of people at this point. Right. Because they're in close proximity with family members just don't know what to do. And like you saying, when we first found this out, it was a panic.
Yeah, it really was a panic, and a panic on every level. We talked a lot today about how musicians are suffering via, lack of club work or theater work, or whatever. But even like a lot of recording artists, no names mentioned, are suffering because they can't tour either. If the venues are closed, they're closed to the artists, the musicians, all the sound people, all the stage hands, all the sound companies, the lights, everybody's sitting at home twiddling their thumbs. So it's a domino effect for everybody. So the answer to all of this, Cam, is we have to do the right thing to get back to 100% normalcy and wearing the mask, sanitizing, social distancing. It's not a hard formula. We just have to all do it in harmony, and it's not against the Constitution at all. When you're talking about livelihood, when you're talking about the chance of you entering a building with COVID and affecting, 200, 300 people and it's spreading, the Constitution really doesn't play a part. You have to do what you can to keep from infecting people. And the only way we're going to do this is wear a mask. And I love what President-elect Joe Biden said. The idea of wearing a mask for the first 100 days of the year. I think that will really induce a decline in the COVID curve just in those first 100 days. And, we'll see some promise at that point. We need an agenda, Cam.
Yeah.
We need a plan, and we haven't had that, during the COVID or even before that. I mean, not to get political, but it has not been the leadership that we needed to bring something harmonious from the American people. So hopefully we have a new regime that's going to come in and help to balance everything out. It can't solve every problem in 4 years, but it's got to be better than what we have.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. In looking at it, what would you like to leave with the viewers?
I'd just like to say thank you, Cam, and thank you to my musical family. You are my extended family. 30 plus years in the business. You're still coming to my concerts. You're still downloading my music. You're still buying the CDs. On behalf of my family, I am just totally grateful to still be in the game and be healthy. And, God navigates my life and navigates my family's life. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come in your household and in some way enhance your lives. I am totally honored to do that. And my dream now is to just get back to normal so I can perform for you again and we can get our groove on.
I love it. I love it. I love it. How can they get in touch with you? Your website. And buy
yes,
your
very
music.
easy. Yes. www.geraldalbright.com.
Yes.
It has all the information with regards to links to social media, what I'm doing, all the current events that are happening in my life. So that is the hub, GeraldAlbright.com. And with regards, once again, to the Musicians Assistance Fund, if you see that pop-up window, please donate, as I would personally like to help some musicians bridge the gap in their financial world. So thank you in advance for that.
I thank you, my friend, for everything. This has been a dynamic interview. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for all of your years, 30 plus years being in the business. Thank you.
My pleasure, Cam. Thanks for inviting me on your show. I really had a great time. Let's do it again.
Let's do it.
And I can't wait, man. Have a great holiday season.
Yes.
For you and your family, and be well and safe.
You too. Talk to you soon. Thank you,
All
family,
right,
for everything. On tomorrow, we will have Steve Rogers. He was with Bar 5015. Talk to you then. 12:30, 1:30 Central Standard Time. See you. Bye.